Not every game needs to have deep, engrossing gameplay to be a worthwhile experience. Sometimes, the act of exploring an interesting environment provides all of the entertainment you need to create situations that are memorable, immersive, and effective. Such is the case with Layers of Fear, a Steam release that just recently moved out of early access. I had played the early access version of Layers of Fear months ago on my Twitch channel, and I recall thoroughly enjoying myself as I explored the ruined, hallucinogenic-like environments as I tried to piece together the game's narrative. Now that the game has been released in full, I decided to go back and see how things shaped up. In the game, you play a once famous artist who has fallen on some tough times. His life, effectively, has spiraled downward, both personally and professionally, and the player is left to piece together exactly what happened. The game's story is interesting, though your understanding of it will vary depending on just how much you tend to explore your environment. One aspect of the game that I feel warrants special mention is the fact that there are multiple points throughout your exploration whereby you are given a choice of where to go. While I've only played through the game once, I noted many locations where I went left when I could have gone right, or disregarded a door because there was some otherworldly noise coming from behind it. I can't personally vouch for how much true choice the player has, but I do know that the game itself contains multiple endings that play out depending on some hidden criteria that aligns closely to your gameplay style. I don't want to spoil which ending I got, but I can say, if you match it up with the narrative context of the game, I can definitely see how my gameplay choices led to the specific ending that I got. While the story and overall narrative structure are enjoyable, the gameplay is a bit light. This is effectively a walking simulator whereby you interact with objects, open drawers and doors to look around, and click on clues to discover more of the background story, told through both audio memories and intentionally placed notes in newspaper articles. I don't believe the lack of deeper gameplay detracts from the game all that much, as this title isn't, in my opinion, striving for gameplay mastery. Instead, its goal is to deliver an effective story-based experience. And let me tell you, that experience is totally worthwhile. The environment you explore is incredibly spooky and is filled with not only jump scares, but also psychological horror elements that make you want to peer over your shoulder as you sit at your desk, just to make sure nothing is sneaking up behind you. If you play the game at night, in the dark, alone, and with a set of headphones, you'll create what I believe to be the most effective immersive experience the game can offer, short of a potential virtual reality release, which I'd totally be up for. I can legitimately say I had a more enjoyable time in this world than I've had in any horror movie released over the last few years. The game's incredibly effective at messing with your head. If you let it, you can definitely become engrossed in the game world. That said, the game isn't that long. I believe it took me around 4 hours to complete, and that includes a whole bunch of exploration. There are some puzzles scattered about, including optional side paths, that require environmental clues to decipher, but these puzzles aren't really brain teasers. This game is not about puzzles, it's about exploration. People who disregard the more explorative aspects of the game will likely finish the game much quicker than others, but then, I'd question as to why you'd be playing an exploration-based horror game in the first place if all you wanted to do was run through the environment. One complaint I do have is that the final release invalidated all of my progress that I had made previously while the game was in early access. Replaying the game was a pleasant experience, but I will admit that the additional content that the full release offered wasn't really that much more than what early access provided. I understand that certain elements were rearranged such that you encounter certain rooms and events in a different order than previously, and I don't deny that the release version of the game is the definitive experience for the title. It's just that I expected a bit more considering how much of the game was already available via my early access purchase. All that said, I really did enjoy the game, and I'd recommend it to anyone who wants to experience a horror-inducing ride into the deep recesses of a deranged individual's mind. If you enjoy being scared, either overtly or psychologically, you should definitely give it a try. Layers of Fear gets 4 baby monster paintings out of 5.